This is a story about a man who lost everything, questioned everything, and discovered a truth that changed not just his life, but his soul. His name was Samuel, a good man, a hard-working father of two beautiful children. For 15 years he woke up at dawn, worked at the local factory, and came home to the laughter of his family. His life wasn't perfect, but it was his, and he was grateful. Then, in the span of 6 months, everything crumbled. First, the factory closed. 300 jobs gone overnight. Samuel wasn't just an employee. He was 1 month away from becoming a supervisor. 1 month away from that promotion he'd worked 15 years to earn. He told his wife, Maria, "Don't worry, I'll find something. God will provide." He applied everywhere, one rejection after another. Weeks turned into months. Their savings evaporated like morning dew under a scorching sun. Then came the second blow. His daughter, little Emma, only 7 years old, fell ill. The doctors said she needed surgery, expensive surgery, the kind of surgery that costs more than Samuel made in an entire year. He fell to his knees that night. "God," he whispered, tears streaming down his face, "where are you? I've tried to live right. I've tried to do good. Please don't take my daughter. Don't let me fail my family." The silence was deafening. With no insurance and no savings, Samuel had only one option. He sold their house, the house where his children took their first steps, the house filled with memories of birthday parties and Christmas mornings. They moved into a tiny, cramped apartment on the edge of town. Emma got her surgery. She survived, but Samuel felt like he was dying inside. 3 months after losing the house, Samuel sat in the apartment at 2 a.m., unable to sleep. His son needed new shoes for school. Emma needed follow-up medications. The rent was due in 5 days, and he had $17 in his pocket. $17 to feed a family of 4. He walked outside into the cold night, looked up at the stars, and for the first time in his life, he shouted at God, "You abandoned me!" His voice echoed in the empty street. "I did everything right. I worked hard. I prayed. I believed. And you took everything from me. Where were you when I needed you most?" His voice broke. He fell against a wall, sobbing. "I have nothing left. Nothing. My children are suffering, and I can't do this anymore." In that moment of absolute despair, Samuel felt like he was drowning, not in water, but in hopelessness. He thought about his father's old words, "God never gives you more than you can handle." "Well, I can't handle this," Samuel whispered. "I can't." He stayed there, crumpled against that wall, until the sun began to rise. As dawn broke, Samuel walked through the quiet streets, not really knowing where he was going. His feet carried him to a small park where he used to take his children on Sundays. There was an old man sitting on a bench feeding pigeons. Something about him seemed peaceful, out of place in Samuel's world of chaos. "You look troubled, son," the old man said, without looking up. Samuel almost walked past, but something made him stop. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe it was desperation. He sat down. "I've lost everything," Samuel said flatly. "My job, my home, my faith. I don't know why I'm even still trying." The old man scattered more breadcrumbs. "Tell me, when did God abandon you?" "What?" Samuel looked at him, confused. "You said you've lost your faith, so tell me exactly when God abandoned you. Was it when you lost your job? When your daughter got sick? When you sold your house?" Samuel's jaw tightened. "All of it, every moment. Where was he when I was begging for help?" The old man smiled gently. "Let me ask you this. Did your daughter survive?" "Yes, but did you find a way to pay for that surgery that seemed impossible?" "I sold my house, but did your family stay together through it all?" Samuel paused. "Yes." "Then tell me again," the old man said, his eyes now meeting Samuel's with a piercing wisdom. "Exactly when did God abandon you?" Samuel opened his mouth, but no words came out. The old man continued, "You lost your job, but you were 1 month away from a promotion in a factory that was about to close anyway. If you'd gotten that promotion, you might have felt obligated to stay, to invest more of your life. Instead, that door closed before you walked through it. Was that abandonment or protection?" Samuel's breath caught in his throat. "Your daughter needed surgery you couldn't afford, yet somehow you found a way. You sold a house, yes, but houses can be rebuilt. Can daughters? You had a choice between wood and walls or flesh and blood. God didn't abandon you. He gave you the strength to make an impossible choice, and your daughter is alive because of it." Tears began to roll down Samuel's cheeks. "You think you've been walking alone," the old man said, his voice tender. "But let me tell you something. When you're going through the valley and you look back and see only one set of footprints, that's not when he left you, that's when he was carrying you." Samuel couldn't speak. The old man stood up, placed a hand on his shoulder, and said, "You haven't lost everything, son. You've lost the things that don't matter, so you could see what does. Your family is still together. Your daughter is alive. Your wife still believes in you. And somewhere deep inside, even though you're angry, you still believe too. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been shouting at God last night. You don't shout at someone you think isn't there." As the old man walked away, Samuel sat frozen on that bench, and then it hit him like a wave. The factory closing meant he wasn't trapped in a dead-end job anymore. The house he sold meant his daughter was breathing. The apartment he hated meant his family was still under the same roof, still together. God hadn't abandoned him. God had been rearranging his life, tearing down what was temporary to protect what was eternal. Samuel rushed home. He burst through the apartment door where Maria was making breakfast with the little food they had. Emma and his son were drawing pictures at the table with crayons. He fell to his knees and wrapped his arms around all three of them. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I'm so sorry I couldn't see it. We have everything, right here. We have everything that matters." Maria held him tight, tears in her eyes. "We have each other. We always did." 3 years later, Samuel started his own small business. It wasn't much at first, just handyman services around the neighborhood, but it grew. He built something that was truly his, something no factory closure could take away. They eventually moved into a new house, smaller than the first, but it didn't matter. Emma graduated from elementary school at the top of the class. His son played soccer on weekends, and Samuel kept that moment in the park with the old man locked in his heart forever. Because he learned the hardest truth. God never abandons you, even when you can't see him, even when you can't feel him, even when you're screaming at the sky in anger and pain. He is there. Sometimes he closes doors to keep you from walking into disaster. Sometimes he lets you struggle so you can discover strength you never knew you had. And sometimes he takes away everything you thought you needed so you can finally see everything you already have. The question isn't whether God is there. The question is, can you trust him even in the darkness? Because it's in the darkness that faith becomes real. It's in the valley that you discover you're not walking alone. You've never been alone, and you never will be. If you're going through your own valley right now, if you feel abandoned and forgotten, I want you to know something. This story isn't just about Samuel, it's about you. It's about all of us who have stood in the darkness and wondered if anyone is listening. The answer is yes. Someone is listening. Someone is carrying you. And one day, you'll look back and see that what felt like abandonment was actually protection. What felt like loss was actually preparation. Hold on. Keep faith. Your breakthrough is coming. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more stories that restore faith and change lives. And remember, You are never, ever alone.